Aloha everybody, my name is Michael Marchand.
And I'm Lauren Gibson.
And we are the owners and operators of Lapa'au Farm here in Maui, Hawaii.
Today we want to talk to you about the 3 most important key factors that we've utilized to get our farm up and going in the last 8 months. So let's dive in.
The first thing that we've realized over the last 9 months, if you don't have the passion, you ain't gonna get very far. The startup of any farm, and any business I guess, but specifically a farm, is gonna take an incredible amount of motivation, dedication, commitment, and sacrifice to be able to get where you want to be. The vision that you have isn't going to come overnight. It's going to take many, many months and most likely many years to fully come into fruition. So the number one key to becoming a successful market gardener or farmer or business person, whatever you like, is going to be the passion behind doing the work that you do. Number 2, besides the passion, is going to be your market. You cannot grow thousands of pounds of food and not be able to move it, or else you're just wasting your money and wasting all that labor time. So the first thing to figure out is, where are you going to sell your produce? Farmers markets, restaurants, grocery stores, chefs, CSA. And it really depends on your region and what's available to you. For us, we focus strictly on restaurant accounts, and the reason why we really enjoy that as well is because we can know and guarantee ourselves that before we seat a bed, we're actually going to have all of that food sold. So we make the sales prior to even seating, and that creates a huge amount of less stress in our lives. To be able to force ourselves to move everything through market isn't possible. There's a lot of competition, and we also hit niche markets in our market gardening, and we follow a few people who have inspired us: Curtis Stone, which I'm sure many of you know, and Jean-Martin Fortier. And we do the approach of short-term production, quick crop production, with about 55 days or less. So the focus on our crops is baby salad greens with about 10 varieties in there, baby arugula, baby spinach, baby kale, and we also do a lot of roots, so the sweet salad turnips, the hakurei turnips, radishes, carrots, not too much, but the market loves them. We don't do too much to chefs. Beets, and our big production actually is oyster mushrooms too, because we are up here in Olinda and we can grow oyster mushrooms year round with energy efficiency, because we don't need to create massive laboratories. We don't have to sterilize anything. We use cold water pasteurization methods, and the humidity up here is just about the prime time for any type of mushroom to grow. So we just regulate it a little bit with shade houses and mister systems. You can actually see those in the back. So number 2 most important behind passion is going to be your market. Find your market, go to the farmer's market, see what sells, how much competition there is between particular products, and we focus on our niche market with very little competition between our potatoes, onions, greens, and oyster mushrooms. So we're able to move all of our product all the time, and rarely do we ever sit on maybe a little bit of product that we can eat or give to friends. The number 3 for us is going to be focus on your soil. You can't really grow much quality if you can't have really good quality soil. So we focus on shallow till or no-till methods, which is what some people call it. Of course, sometimes we do have to till, so we practice it as much as we can. But through that, we create the health of the microorganisms and the hotels and homes underneath the soil to stay intact. If we till that constantly, we're destroying those homes for those microorganisms and all the biology in the soil, which makes them rebuild and usually takes a toll on the health of the plant over time. But we've never seen any issues with disease other than letting crops go much too long. We harvest crops early too, which creates always a healthy plant. And the quality of our product is very high because we do tons of compost, about 60 tons a half acre, a lot more than the recommended. And we also only use fish char, which is a blend of biochar from Big Island, our neighboring island, and fish meal blended from the port, and then they inoculate that with molasses to feed that mycelium and all of the good bacteria and fungi inside of the fertilizer. So we put living food onto our plants for us to eat.
What do you think was the most important thing, or the combination of things, to get soil to be from the dirt to actual soil in less than 8 months?
Yeah. First we ripped the grass and started taking out all that grass after we tilled it. Of course, the soil is so compact here. It's extremely heavy clay. Not much rocks, which is nice, but very heavy clay that we, in September of last year, planted a cover crop of hairy vetch mainly with a polyculture of a few other crops as well in there. And that helped create some biology to become active in the soil, since the soil has been pretty dead for the last 10 years. About 25 years ago and more into World War II, it was farmed conventionally, cabbage, onion, every square inch of this place. And I think probably about every chemical was sprayed onto this land that long ago as well. So not much biology going on in the soil. But after the cover crop was finished and we had mowed that over, mulched it, and then we turned that in, we really saw an improvement in our soil. We also had added about 20 tons of compost in the initial planting phase. And then throughout this last 8 months, we've added another 40 tons of compost. And to me, compost is going to be your key component to be able to create and rejuvenate that soil. It's going to bring back biology. Good compost, of course. If you have an anaerobic, really hot compost in a commercial facility, you're going to want to add in different effective microorganisms, maybe compost teas, IMOs, if you all know natural Korean farming. And focus not on tilling up that soil, letting that biology build in that soil. And that's what's really going to help create those plants to thrive in the future, is to be able to recreate that biology and those structures inside of the soil.
So our goal with this YouTube channel is to help you if you're inspired to start your own small farm, or even if you just want to create backyard gardens. We're really blessed to live on the island of Maui, where there's a lot of amazing agriculture. The community here is really supportive. But we're also really interested in the urban gardening, urban farming movement that's happening all over the United States and worldwide. So we just want to share what we're learning along the way, tips, tools, tricks. We'll be leaving in the link below all of the resources we discussed today in the video, the IMO, different types of compost we're using, and hit the subscribe button. And we are really stoked to be on the journey with you.
Yeah. Farm up.